Hello you guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Parshvika. On this channel we talk a lot about designing stuff, interior designing, furniture designing, jewelry designing, all about designing. So today we're gonna focus on some designing stuff, and we're gonna take an inspiration from Pinterest because Pinterest works amazingly well. A lot of the people come on the Pinterest and they literally get confused when they look at so many different ideas and inspirations, how you can easily use them for your own room, for your own home. That's important because there are so many ideas out there how you can literally use them. So let's dive into the Pinterest itself and let's see what the stuff comes up and how we can use it together. Okay, if you enjoyed today's video, give it thumbs up and do consider subscribing for more such videos. And currently I'm working on some stuff, like I'm working on my website for laying out some features and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let you know once I launch my store, once I launch my website. But let's begin with today's video. So we're gonna take examples of few rooms and we're gonna find the color balance, or not exactly the color balance, but we're gonna find the rhythm, we're gonna find the repetition, we're gonna find the focal length and see what make that room or home look perfect. Okay, so let's begin. Let's take out this first one. I'm just picking up a random home decor from the Pinterest. We're not gonna super exaggerate the situation, but we're gonna keep the thing simple. So here we are. This is the first one, and we can, like, I will maximize the zoom in, so that's gonna be equal. Okay, so the color palette, you can see it's kind of like the beige cream combination, so kind of like a minimalistic style. So what is the focal point here? Now focal point is like whenever you enter into the space where your eyes goes, whether it's a living room, it's a bedroom, it's a kind of like the space where your eyes goes. Now here probably I feel my eyes goes on this art print, the art wall art, art print, whatever you call it. That's where my eyes are going. And of course some people would say the focal point here is also the tree because your eyes are going into the tree, but the more important is this one. So you can see how to balance this one and how to use it. So that's the first focal point. The second thing I feel from this vibe, it's kind of like minimalistic vibe, but the things are matching. So the rule applies here, 60-30 and 10% rule. 60% is the main colors. So the main colors we see here is the cream. We see the main color as cream, and different color of the cream and the beige. That's what I can say as a 60%. 30% I can see the color of light brown, like in this rug and this pillow. So that's kind of like 30% that I can see. And the 10% I see is the part, the green color, the floral plants. So that's the vibe is here. So the focal point is this. If this would be the focal point, because the rule of the rhythm is like rule of the a rule of the designing, that's the harmony. It's all about you pick up one focal point and your entire room focuses on that focal point, based on that color, the texture, the theme and all that stuff. So that's why the plant cannot be a focal point, because we don't see so many plants here. If there are so many plants, then we can say plant is a focal point, because rest everything is creating a harmony around that. So that's not working here. This is kind of like the accent. That's what we can say in the 10% rate. It's kind of like an accent. But the main focal point is this art print or wall art. And then everything is kind of like coming together and creating a visual harmony. So that's very interesting. So of course I can talk about hours and hours on this particular room, but we have covered this one here. Let's go back and let's see another one. Let's see some more ideas. For example, this one. Now this one is actually taking us to the website. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's a Marlowe Cowshed round chandelier with a natural alabaster stone shades. Now I'm not sponsored to talk about this. We're just focusing on the room. We are not focusing on the chandelier for a second. So I'm just gonna, we need to see what exactly. Okay, wait a second guys. Okay. Why it's not going down? Okay, I'm gonna zoom out because when I'm zooming in I cannot see clearly. Okay, so here main focal point is this chandelier because it's actually selling the chandelier, how the chandelier can be used in the room. So main focal point is here the chandelier. Now the focal point can be literally anything. It could be a wall art, could be a chandelier, could be a sofa, could be wall ceiling hanging or wall art, wall hanging, whatever. It can be that. So we see this is kind of like this is the main focal point, and then we see the colors of beige or cream is the like the 60% I see here. 30% I see the colors of the brown, like the shades of the brown here, also in the chandelier, and here in the curtains I see the little bit of the brown. And the 10% I can see the plant here a little bit, and a little bit of the yellow color. That's what I can say because it's coming from the light. And the beauty is that this is like the chandelier is kind of like a focal point, and everything is revolving around that. So even these plants here, the floral pollen pods, kind of like creating a harmony, a visual harmony. Even though there is so much here in this room, but it doesn't look chaotic because everything is matching with the color combination, with the theme overall. And the thing we see here is the symmetry. Like here on the side of the sofa we see this lamp with the candle, and here with the lamp and the candles, it's kind of like creating a balance on the both the sides, and it's symmetrical balance. It's not asymmetrical, but it's worked like that. Also this part of the wardrobe and this part of the wardrobe kind of like creating a symmetrical balance, so it works pretty well. Now here we see the asymmetry. This is a little bit different kinds of plants, and here florals, so it's kind of like asymmetry, but it's still creating a balance. So even though there's so much in the room, but it doesn't create the chaos. Okay, now let's go back to the Pinterest again, and let's see some more ideas where we can grab the ideas. So I'm going to zoom out for a bit. Now this is all focusing on this beige kind of like a minimalistic. So let's pick up something else. Okay, let's pick up this one. Now here you can see the focal point is the plant. Now of course some people can say the focal point is this, but then the focal point is the plant, because the moment you enter into the space you see the plant in the corner. It's kind of like the focal point, and everything is revolving around that, and you can see the plants here as well, kind of like reciprocating this. Even this flower pot sitting on this kind of like a table is also reciprocating here on the left as well. You can see the plants kind of like reciprocating this. So it's kind of like everything is coming combination together and creating a focal point, and that's what I can say. Now this kind of like the ceiling light, it's like an accent, but then it adds a touch to the room. Otherwise this space will look empty, the ceiling will look empty, but then it's exaggerate and it's complete the stuff. So that's what I can say from this stuff. Now let's take a look at some more examples. Now this is another one with so many plants, but we're gonna skip for a second. Okay, let's pick up this one. This is a kind of like the coastal rustic vibe, because so much blue color is here. And here what is the focal point? The focal point is this wall art, or the so many wall arts here. It's kind of like a focal point because that's what drawing the attention of the observer or the viewer. The first no time you come into the room, you're gonna look at the art. So this is kind of like the focal point, and everything is in harmony with that. So we see the blue color sofa is in harmony with the art print. We see the blue colors other wall art prints here. We see the blue color here a little bit in the globe, a little bit here blue color, kind of like adding the touch to that. And then even though so much stuff is there, but then we see the main colors here, the blue shade, we see the cream, little bit cream, and then we see the light brown shade. So kind of like a rustic coastal vibe, combining the combination together. Okay, so let's see what else we have more here. And so many coastal vibes is there, and that's kind of like, okay, look at this one. Now this one is very, of course it's coastal rustic vibe, but it's quite different because here the carpet we see is kind of like a pattern and totally different color, and we see a lot of the different colors in the room. So kind of like the rustic in combination with the boho touch, that's what I can say. Now here the focal point goes of course under the ceiling light as well, and also the art as well. That's what I can say. It's kind of like a combination, because it's not always straightforward answer, okay, this is a focal point. Sometimes it's more than one things that could be a focal point, right? But then this art print is more kind of like a focal point because it has the colors which is matching with the color, like the blue color is matching with the color of the door, then the pillow, and then we see the red and the pink combining with the colors in the carpet, also here in the pillow, also here we see the floral, so kind of like a matching that vibe as well. So it has a lot of the different colors and a lot of the different patterns we see here, and that's coming together and mixing well together. That's what I can say. Now this is another one. This is a perfect example. Now it's actually they are selling a kursis here, but skip for a second. We are not focusing on buying whatever. We are just focusing on seeing the room and seeing where is the focal point, where does the color balance, the harmony and the symmetry or asymmetry, whatever it is. Now here the focal point is the ceiling lights, and they look so exaggerating, even though sometimes it may look chaotic because it's a lot of them, but kind of like they are more catching the eyes of the person when they come into this space. And then we see like the patterns in the carpet, we see the patterns in the carpet, we see the patterns here, we see the gray color. So it has a lot of the different colors going around here. Even the wall art on the wall has a lot of the different colors, and you can see the mirror is kind of like a hanging mirror, which is pretty interesting with this kind of like the vibe. And then this the wall lamp, it's not the wall lamp but the normal lamp is kind of like a creating exaggerating, not exaggerating, kind of like a symmetry or harmony with these lamps. That's what I can say. It's a very different combination, but it works like more natural rustic on side one. That's what I can say. Now of course there are so many examples guys which you can learn and which you can see exactly how you can implement for your own space, whether you're decorating your entire room. So many ideas are there, and then you can see where is the focal point, where is the color balance, where is the symmetrical, and then you're designing your space. You can bring those rules here. For example, we're gonna just take this last one. Now here, what is the focal point? The focal point is like a more television, because the people's eyes are going on a television. Now television can be colorful based on what you're showcasing, but more is kind of like a black. Okay, now here it's a reflection from the light from the window. So this room is have like a dynamic structure, because in the day it's gonna be summer, sorry, in the day it's gonna be the light coming from the window, and we're going to showcase a different viewpoint, and at the night it would be different, but this is the focal point. And then we see a asymmetrical balance, even though it's maybe symmetrical asymmetrical, but then we see the balance here. On the left side this is the plan, on the right side we see this is a plan. So kind of like a balance, but then symmetrical asymmetrical. That's what I can say. Now here again this is asymmetrical. So here there's the cactus with this small pot, and here this is kind of like a balancing. Again here we see the different piece of the art, and we see this balancing books with the art, and here with the cactus and this plants. So, and then we see the pattern rugs here and the ceiling lights kind of like adding the touch. So hopefully you find today's video useful guys. Let me know if you want more such videos. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.